Hello? 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 Anybody there? Hello? Okay. Hey! Hey, how you doing? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. It's Friday.
Yes, thank you.
A wild, rough week?
No, not too rough. Hey, Mr. Dupree.
Oh, hey, man. Hello, beautiful.
Oh, look, she's smiling.
Yeah. How you doing? You looking cute. Is her dog baby anywhere close by?
I was looking for
Yeah, oh, look at you looking. You see me today. I see you. You're looking pretty. You have a good week today? Oh, you had a good week. Okay. That's wonderful. Oh, there you got some company. There's your little cutie pie baby. Guess what, Maya? Today's my mother's wedding anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yep, she was married 66 years ago today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a terrible hurricane in Baltimore, believe it or not, and people died. But she got married during the storm.
Oh, wow, that was beautiful.
And it was stormy ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. So how you doing, mommy? Yep, you hear me. Yep, that's me. You look cute today. You're up and up. And I saw everybody this week. You see Tootie this week. And you see Diane and Sharon and Marshall. And man, this is me, Jimmy. The big head boy. The first baby. Miss Maya, you still there? You going?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I know you're leaving, so I'll talk to you when you come back.
Huh?
I said I'll talk to you when you come back.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Well, Mrs. Dupree, today is your wedding anniversary. You and Dad got married 66 years ago. 1954. You have company in your room today? So a lot of people moving around. Look at you. Look, this is bright. Glad to see you. I missed you this week. So we got the TV on today. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? So you know when we talk, we go back down memory lane. I want to see if I can test your memory. Do you remember your teacher named Miss Ferguson? You used to have a teacher named Miss Ferguson was your favorite teacher. And she used to live on Druid Hill Avenue. And sometimes when we would go to Druid Hill Park and we would leave the park, we would ride down Druid Hill Avenue and she'd be sitting outside. So we would stop the car. You remember it, don't you? We would stop the car and you would talk to Miss Ferguson. So I remember that was your favorite teacher. And she taught at 135 later on, which was a school down the street from 101. So a couple of times I tried to sneak down there, but I was scared to go inside the building, so I never did see her. But she was your teacher while she was still teaching while I was in school. So she was a teacher for a long time. And then another teacher that I had one of your teachers, I had Miss Harvey. Miss Harvey was a gym teacher, and she was your gym teacher. And she was my gym teacher, too. At once she came to 101, and when she would teach gym, She would drive me home sometimes. She would bring me home in her car, so I didn't have to walk home, even though I only had to walk 2 blocks. I think she was always open to see you. But yep, so I knew about 2 of your teachers, Miss Harvey, the gym teacher, and Miss Ferguson. Miss Ferguson was your favorite teacher. Yep. Now let me tell you about some of my teachers. My first teacher at school was Miss Council, and that was my kindergarten teacher. And she only kept me for about 6 months, and she put me in another class, and the woman's name was Miss Purcell. You won't remember her, but you'll remember my first grade teacher, Miss Brown. Miss Brown was my first grade teacher. I think she was Sharon's first grade teacher. She might have been Diane's first grade teacher, and she was David's first grade teacher. So we had a long time. Our family was a big family at 101. So remember one time, Miss Dixon was my 5th grade teacher. She told me to go to the principal's office. I bet you remember this day. And when I was going to the principal's office, the 3 o'clock bell rang. So I came home. I snuck home. And y'all had went to Northeast Market and had bought some hot chili dogs, hot dogs. We were eating hot dogs. And it started raining. And it was raining and thundering and lightning. And the rain was pouring down. And all of a sudden, the door, somebody was banging the door. Bam, 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 bam. And when Dad went to the door to open the door, it was Miss Dixon. She was standing there. She was soaking wet. All of her clothes were wet. Her hair was all over her head. And she said, "Where's that James?" And she dragged me out of the house. Y'all made me go back. And she took me back to the school and took me to the principal's office. And plus, I ruined. She had just got her hair done. And I ruined her hair that day. She was mad with me. But y'all didn't let me get away with it. Y'all made me go right back down to that school and take my punishment. And I didn't get much. It didn't beat me or nothing, but they yelled at me for a long time. Told me don't ever leave the school like that again. So I never get in much trouble after that. Yeah, but that was just some of my school days. I think my favorite person at school at 101 was the librarian. Miss Shepherd. She was the librarian at the school, and she made sure that I got to read more important books than just children's books. So when I was in 101, I read Langston Hughes books, but I read James Baldwin's books, and I read Richard Wright, and I knew Gwendolyn Brooks was a poet. And I knew about Paul Laurence Dunbar because you had books of poetry at the house. You remember you used to read poems to us? I knew a lot of Paul Laurence Dunbar's poems because he read a lot. And you had good books at the house, a lot of old stories. We had the Grimm's Fairy Tales books. So all those books about Little Red Riding Hood and the 3 Bears and the 3 Pigs and Snow White and Rapunzel, all those stories we read at home. A long time before we went to school, I already knew how to read. So they put me in a rapid reading group, and they sent me to the library. When the rest of the class would be reading, I was in the library. So the first year, all Miss Shepherd had me doing was pushing the books to the edges of the shelf to make the library look good. But by the second year, she taught me the Dewey Decimal Filing System, so I knew where all the books were in the library. And she taught me about Caldecott Medal books and Newbery Award books. And I got to read Time Magazine and Newsweek and Life magazines and Boys Life magazines. And I got to read a lot of things that the rest of the class, they were still reading Dick and Jane books. I was reading James Baldwin, and I knew who Langston Hughes was. I read all Langston Hughes stuff. And I was just in the first year of elementary school. I learned all that. So you're looking nice today. You been up for a while? You had a good breakfast? Yeah, I'm still here. So it's good that you can see me. And I hope you got the company yesterday, and I hope you had company Tuesday. So that baby's been a good baby. So I know I'm just rambling on. I just try to see if I can make you remember certain things. That's all. So I remember Miss Hazel coming to the house, one of your friends. But then I remember when we lived on Eden Street, Miss Thelma and Eunice lived down the corner. And Miss Thelma was one of your classmates. And she went to school with you. Yeah. So is that baby making that baby good today? You gonna give the baby a kiss? I'm still here. Can you see me? Oh, you can see me? Okay. So I remember a lot of things when I was little. I remember how when Mama used to come by the house when she would leave work, she'd come down the street, and some days she would walk past the house because she was running late and had to catch a bus. And some days she would come in the house. And that was always a very good time. Remember every day, Mom, we used to have candy time. You would scrape up the change that was in the house and give me a handful of change and just say, go buy candy with it. I would come back home with a bag full of Mary Janes, squirrel nuts, and didn't have now ladies back then. They had another little candy. I'm trying to remember what it was. They were small and they were little fruit candies. And they came like 4 in a pack, 4 or 5 of them in a pack. Only cost a penny though. You could get a lot of candy for a penny. And sometimes they had cookies, 2 cookies for a penny. So some days you would say buy 10-cent worth of cookies and 15 cents worth of candy. And a bag of potato chips. You look like Mrs. Ivy's potato chips. And potato chips used to cost 5 cents. So I'd get a 5 cents bag of potato chips for you, and we'd buy a bunch of candy. Then after we eat all that candy, we'd go crazy. Because candy and sugar makes the children go crazy. We didn't know that though. But then we'd be running all around. You'd have to make us all sit down and be quiet. At 1 o'clock, you would watch as the world turns would come on, and at 1 o'clock, I think it was the Sylvia Porter's show called The Woman's Angle. Used to come on. I remember everything you used to watch on TV. And you should watch Queen for a Day. Remember that show, Queen for a Day? And sometimes you would watch The Price is Right with Bill Cullen. Because I remember watching all that stuff. That's what kept us, that was the babysitter Sundays, because I had before. Yeah. The Price is Right. And then the Van Burens on As the World Turns. I remember those names. I can't remember the husband's name, but I don't remember the story. Yeah. So it's been a good day so far. It's raining outside, but the viruses seem to be getting better. So maybe, we saw you a week ago. Maybe soon we'll be able to come back and visit with you, be able to come out the room again. So we hope so. Because it wasn't nice to get out of that room for a little while. So I see Miss Betty's being quiet today. She must be asleep. Maybe she took a nap today, huh? She's teasing that baby. If I ever do that to you, I'm gonna come look at your face. See my face? It's me, the knucklehead son Jimmy. I love you, Mommy. So I'm looking down, I'm looking at your face, but when I look up into the camera, then you can see my eyes better. Can you see my eyes? Do I look like James Dupree? I'm Jimmy. So this is Jimmy. And you're looking right at me too, okay. So you know to look at that there's a little camera on the thing that you're looking at. And so when I'm looking at the camera, you're looking right at me. Look at you. Your eyes are so pretty, Mommy. They're just as bright and clear. I wish my eyes were bright and clear like that. My eyes are, oh, look at you, beautiful. Can you give me a kiss? Man, I gave you a kiss. I'll blow you a kiss. How's that? Nigga, kiss the baby for me. You give the baby a kiss? Yep, today is your anniversary, October the 16th. I can't remember the name of the hurricane. I'll find that out. But there was a hurricane in Baltimore, and it was a bad storm. But y'all got married anyway at Aunt Marie's house. You and Dad. And Reverend Smith, the lived on Washington Street, married you. He came to the house and married you. So that's something. I think about all the times we used to go to Druid Hill Park. We went to Druid Hill Park 100 times easy. Maybe 200 times. But it got us outside and we got to play in the grass, around the trees. And then sometimes we would go to the zoo and look at the animals. Remember that? We would walk through the zoo. And we would chase each other. Remember the time that Diane, David, and Marshall got bit by bats? They got bit by bats in one of the little houses, the little gazebos. And we had to take them to the hospital every night so they had to get a needle in their stomach to get a shot to make sure they didn't have rabies. Yeah, that was Marshall, David, and Diane. The three of them. They were playing in that little gazebo, that little house at Druid Hill Park, and they got bit by bats. Had to take them to the hospital. There's a big guy. That's nice.
Shattered glass, broken windows, and bits of cars. Police and the precinct in Northwest Baltimore are being targeted again. Officers say people are using rocks to damage the building or officers' vehicles. They tell us that precinct has been targeted 4 times in the past 2 months. City Councilman Yitzi Schleifer is calling for the facility to either be updated or we asked the police department and mayor's office for comment. We have not heard back. Here's what we are working on for you today. Johns Hopkins University hosts a town hall with America's top things expert. The new warning document is sharing about the coronavirus.
Mom, you still have other dolls? Are there other dolls there? The other babies there? You got some babies over by the window? Are there babies over there by the window? By your window? You have more babies? Or just that baby? We need to get you a new baby. I'll get you a new baby and bring it up there, okay? I bought you some donuts last week. Remember you got a donut last week? I think it's time to get you bring a new baby up there. Yeah. What's that baby doing? Is it making faces?
It goes on to say these stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than all of this content, but to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more exclusive future together. Lady T with the Be More Lifestyle is here now. Interesting take. Interesting that they're doing this, and I can see it in 2 ways. I think people are
I'm still here. I'm just listening. I'm just waiting. I'm sitting with you. Like it's as close as I can get. I can't sit in the room with you, but I can be in the room. If you can hear me, can you wave at me? Wave at me. So I know you can hear me, okay? You laughing at me, but wave at me.
I think it's going to come at it and say, maybe you take down all together, but you're not taking it down because you want to keep the money coming in.
Yeah, I'm still here, Mom.
Anybody else? if it's, if I see they're taking steps, I love that they're taking steps to do this and put the disclaimer on there. But if you know it's wrong, why not just cut it out? Okay, cut the seeds out. Why don't you make the changes? People are already revising 7 days. So why not do the same thing? I don't understand.
I thought Niecy would be back. She ran to the store. I thought she was going to try to get back in time to see you. Maybe she will. I hope she does.
That could be, and I think that it goes beyond Disney Plus and it goes to the larger issue which has been debated.
Oh, there's Miss Betty.
So when people asking, so where do you draw the line between and the reason we're having this conversation? At least they're trying to have this
She's awake now.
That's it. All right.
You have to play some more music. We have to bring some more music up there too. Maybe get some music sometime. The TV is just noisy. Some days it'd be nice just to have some music playing. Wouldn't it? You'd like to hear some music? Or some Sam Cooke or Fast Domino? Or to hear the Platters? Or would you want to hear the Satisfaction? Remember them? That was with Uncle Braxton, Charles Clarence, and the Satisfaction on Buddy Dean show. Remember Buddy Dean? We thought everybody was in the neighborhood was going to be on Buddy Dean at some point. I think Denise's sister Vendetta was on Buddy Dean show. By the time I got old enough, but Buddy Dean was gone. They didn't have that anymore. Yeah, so Buddy Dean, so they only had colored days. So like you couldn't, colored people couldn't be on every week. They just come on like every other week or something crazy. But that's when they had the best music and the best dances would be on. That's what I remember. I think Miss Virginia down the street, Jean, she had a daughter named Jean. Jean and Vendetta, I think, went at the same time. They were older. They got to go. So Niecy didn't go either. Yeah. I'm still here. Yep. Still looking at you. Just still sitting in the room with you. Did you have some water today? Did you eat? I hear Niecy's coming in now. That's Denisha's here. So she'll be here in a second. Yeah. So you're frozen. I can hear you. Hello. I'm talking to my mother. Has that been a good little baby? Is he good or is he bad, baby? You say hi?
Yeah.
They just had today's their anniversary.
Huh?
Today's their anniversary. You gotta say something.
I didn't want to say, I'm like, you finish
No,
talking.
just,
Hey,
I thought
Mom.
you did. Fly over so she got this so she can see you.
Hey, Mom, it's Niecy. Hi. Hi, man. I see you looking at me. How you doing?
I'm way there, way there.
What difference does it make?
It's the camera's here.
Oh, hi. How you doing? Hey, you look pretty today.
Don't you look cute?
Hey.
She's been smiling the whole time.
Jimmy said you been smiling all this morning. Huh?
Today's their anniversary. Yeah.
I see you. It's good. You got a nice, pretty smile. Right?
She's been nodding a lot.
Yeah.
She's a happy anniversary. Wow. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
I'm through here too.
Jimmy
Bo was
here.
So see his Bo?
You peeping at Jimmy. You peeping at Jimmy. I'm peeping at you. Yep. Baby got a pretty hair bow on today.
She was fooling with the girl. Very sure.
Hi. You gonna wave at me? You gonna wave today? No.
She's not.
Yeah, no. I see you laughing. It's good. Yeah.
She's always waiting for the reach forward and grab the camera, but she hadn't done that yet.
Oh.
She did it a couple of times. It's
Today.
not today now. Yeah. We still was visiting. I always go back through memory lane and talk about old.
Well, go ahead. I got food.
Okay.
Bye, Mom. Oops.
It'll come back. I hope. There's poor connection, so that means because it's probably the rain or something. Uh-oh.